Mr. Adi Godrej is joining us right now. He's chief at the Godrej Group. Sir, thanks for your time. Good to have you with us here, sir. What do you make of Dr. Raghuram Rajan being appointed as the RBI governor, sir? You've been quite worried as an industry captain on the rupee depreciation. What can he do differently? What does he bring to the table according to you?
Well, I'm very glad to see that Raghuram Rajan has been appointed as the next RBI governor. I think a lot of work needs to be done. The economy is not in a good position. The rupee depreciation has taken a huge toll of the economy over the last month, and the perception of the country has also taken its toll. I think Raghu, with his tremendous experience, his global experience, his global knowledge, and his already sufficient knowledge of the Indian economy through both advising the government and now being the chief economic advisor for the last few months, would be the ideal person to take on this responsibility at this difficult stage.
So, but specifically, and I understand you know him well. What would he bring to? I mean, he's one of the people who famously predicted the 2008 financial crisis. Just before it happened, he presented a paper at Jackson Hole, where a lot of other central bankers were present. A little heed was paid to him at that time there, but so he brings a lot of expertise and understanding of what caused the financial crisis and the understanding therein. But to deal with this current situation, what would you expect him to be doing? And how much elbow room is there in terms of monetary tools for anybody at the helm of RBI to sort of turn this around?
Well, tremendous. I think the big mistake we have made is not pay enough attention to the GDP growth of the country. And we started paying too much attention to other areas, which led to the difficult economic situation, which in turn led to current account deficit, which led to the rupee depreciation. So clearly, growth is something that needs to be tackled primarily, and that's the most important. Whenever we paid attention to growth, like we did after the global crisis in 2008-9, in 10-11, 11-12, our economy turned around because we paid attention to growth. We brought in fiscal stimulus. Unfortunately, we have not done that, and Raghu is very knowledgeable on these fields. He, I think, has the expertise to turn it around, and we are not in an impossible situation. India can certainly turn things around, and I'm sure he'll do an excellent job doing so.
The recent RBI measures have tightened liquidity, and now there are fears that there might be outright policy rate increases as well. Should one sort of assume that Dr. Rajan would be more protective of growth? I'm not saying that the current RBI governor is not mindful of growth, but do you think Dr. Rajan will be more so protective of growth and make sure that policies aimed at stabilizing the rupee don't have unintended consequences like squeezing growth further?
No, of course. I think he will be very mindful of growth. And where is this squeezing policy help the rupee? The rupee is at its lowest level ever. So clearly the policy should be policies that work, not policies which are theoretical. What works is growth-oriented policy. High interest rates has never helped any economy. Squeezing liquidity has never helped any economy. Look at America. America was in a very bad position, and after the quantitative easing, America has recovered. America is doing well. The American stock market is at its highest ever. The dollar is very firm, and the American economy is well into recovery. So clearly paying attention to low interest rates, liquidity, availability does help the economy and ultimately solves most economic problems.
Sir, you would agree with me that so this is RBI, but there is the other equation, which is the government, and that is very political, right? With elections, etc., looming. Dr. Rajan's appointment is for 3 years. We got elections in 2014. With the way the parliament is functioning, or rather not functioning, for the second day, I mean, there could be, there is also that looming sort of risk of an early election, etc. So how does the RBI navigate us through this difficult time when the government is doing things, saying things, but it's essentially fighting extremely adverse kind of a situation? And is it doing enough, the government that is?
Look at the United States. They have the there are huge differences between the Republicans and the Democrats, between the President and the Congress. Yet, the central bank has done its job in reflating the economy very well. In fact, they are at a stage now where they are talking of tapering the QE. So, America has done it well. We could have done it well. We should do it well. And I'm sure Dr. Rajan will ensure that the central bank here, the Reserve Bank of India, does take policy decisions which are in line with reviving the Indian economy.
Sir, thanks very much. Great to have you with us here. Appreciate it very much. That's Mr. R.D. Godrej with his thoughts on the appointment of Raghuram Rajan as the new RBI governor. Madan Sabnivas is joining in right now as well. Madan, news coming in after market shut, at least the stock market's shut.